morning, the Old Fisherman. Back with you again. Lake Monticello. Hey, we caught a couple. We got about a dozen, well, I don't know, about 20. And we're gonna try to catch a couple more. We in about 60 foot of water. And we're using crappie nibbles today, tipped on a Starlight slider jig above a wing spoon that he gave me. Wing Tolleson from Lawrence, South Carolina, gave me some spoons day before yesterday, and we're using that combination today of one jig and one spoon. The fish are down there. There's a few fish down there. They don't have one to bite. I got to get them going. We're catching a few with these crappie nibbles I bought, and giving it a shot, and we're catching some, you know. I've tried several different types of jigs, and the only thing I can get them to bite so far is the Starlight slider jig. I tried a Bobby Garland, couldn't get them to bite it. Just wouldn't bite it. So I went back to the slider jig, the Starlight, and they biting that, and I'm tipping it with a gold chartreuse, sparkly. It's chartreuse and sparkle, I think what they call it. Let's see him. Neon chartreuse is what they call it. Neon chartreuse. Crappie nibble is what we tipping it with. And we catching a few fish. There's a few fish out here. I see them on the bottom out there, 60 foot. I don't think they're that big, but it's some fish. Hey, we're gonna try to catch them. Since it's a bite, we're gonna try to get it. And hey, we catching a few. That's all I can say. You'll catch a few and then they quit, and you'll get back on them, catch a few more and they quit. You can't hammer. They don't let you hammer. But we are having a good time on this wonderful lake with Loney. Old Loney's right here, waiting for another fish. Tell you what, I don't know what he'd do without me. I feed him all winter long. Old Loney. And he knows me. The other day I went up on a couple of boats and for some loons over there by the other boats. And when I got there, them loons seen me and they left them other boats to come straight to me like puppies. So they will. They do recognize my boat, and they will follow me around. Old Loney will. I'm catching something. There's just a lot of them Loney fish, and he gonna love that, because that's a Loney fish. And watch this, he'll get him. He got him that quick. Up under the boat, got him, gone. Loney does not play. But hey, we catching a few. I put the 3-rig a while ago out there and could not get a bite. You believe that? They would not bite the 3-rig. These fish are so finicky this year. Would not bite it. And and it was plenty of fish down. I could see them. It was stirred up all off the end of this thing here a while ago. We're 59 right now, but around 59 or 60 is where we're catching them. We're beating them both a little bit, stirring them up, trying to keep them going. And we just basically pulling it down and easing it slow and want to take it. What we're doing. But they're not monster fish. I caught a couple of good ones at first. I don't know what happened now. Now we're catching Loney fish. Now, the little ones done moved in here. Loney's gonna have him a ball, let me tell you. Loney, that's one thing I see, that the fish I normally miss it's probably the little ones, and now I'm catching them with the crappie nibbles, and all that's coming out of it is I'm getting the fish, I'm pulling the fish in, and Loney's eating them. That's the only problem about the crappie nibbles that I see. The big fish, you don't need crappie nibbles. Baby fish, you need crappie nibbles. It's that simple. Big fish, if you get on them big perch, you don't need crappie nibbles. The way I see it so far. I might change my tune on that, but them little fish, you might need the crappie nibbles. They hit that crappie nibble, but they're little. Hopefully we'll get on some big ones, you would hope. We catching them, they're just little. Baby fish, some of them big enough to eat. Now that ain't too bad, that's a acceptable fish. Starlight, slider jig, tipped with a neon chartreuse crappie nibble from Berkeley Baits Pure Fishing. Berkeley Baits Power baits is what I'm trying to say. Power baits. I'm seeing them out there on the bottom, so let's fish here. Old Fisherman's loving life. Let me tell you, thanks to all of my fans for watching my show. Go to stevecumliner.com. You better get your t-shirt if you want one, because I'm telling you right now, I've been selling them this week. Everybody all of a sudden went to buying t-shirts. I mean, I've sold a bunch of them. I hope the last one I sent out in Virginia gets there. It wasn't a street address. I hope they don't come back. Had a road address, but no street address, so I don't know. You know, I can only go by what the customer gives me, and hopefully it gets to you in Virginia. And I'm catching a devil out of little loony fish, and loony is going to be full today. You got it. You think he ain't there? You throw a fish out, you see that loony's here. Loony's always here. Even though I don't see him, he's here. Drop it back down and hope we get us a nice one. That's all we can do. Slick, calm, cloudy. Rain's supposed to be coming in tomorrow. You would think they'd bite, but now it's low water conditions again. It ain't as low as it could be, but it's low enough. All right. Saturday morning, a lot of people fishing. Let me tell you. The Old Fisherman's got a pile of fishermen on his lake. I'm still getting bites. Got a boat working this way. I hope you don't come up and bother me. Hopefully we can make a video without getting interrupted. I tell you what, between the people coming up on me and the phone calls, I'm having a hard time making videos. I get a phone call that cuts my camera off, and I get a lot of them a day anymore. Used to never get a phone call. Started video and I get a phone call all the time. There you go. Hey, there you go. You got love of that. Ain't no jumbo magnum, but he might be acceptable. He might be an acceptable fish. And barely. He barely. Lonnie's had too many to eat. I'm gonna throw that in the pot. More of these doggone crappie nibbles. We're gonna use a jar of crappie nibbles. What we gonna do? Giving it a shot. You know, giving it a shot. I've been told that's what I need to do. I'm giving it a shot. Oh, Lake Monticello. And I got a boat easing up to me. Hopefully not, but it looks like it. It looks like it, people. Drop it back down to the bottom and hope we catch us a jumbo magnum. That's what we're looking for. Loney is looking for a loney fish perch, and I'm looking for a jumbo magnum. And what we catch, we don't know. But we're gonna try until we catch something. Take our time, mess around, and we catch some fish here today. Enjoy life, people. You got to take in your surroundings. Sit back, smell the roses, take in surroundings. Don't get in so much of a rush you don't even know. You ride right by things and don't even see them. Look around you. Take in the views. Think about how wonderful life is. Hey, and if it ain't wonderful to you, then you need to slow down and see how wonderful it can be. Don't get in a rat race, spend all your money, get so far in debt that you can't exist. Please don't do that, because you're going to be miserable. That's not the true love. The true good things in life is not what you own. It's how happy you can be with as little as you own. That's the secret. The key of life, being happy with little. Don't get into a bind, a money bind, and stress yourself out, and you can't make payments. And what kind of life is that? Listen, sometimes people overspend. Hey, I was taught at a young age, you got the money, if you want it, buy it. If you ain't got the money, don't put it on charge. You lose contact with what you use, what you're spending. That's why I don't like to spend on credit. I like to spend with cash. That way, when I see my cash is getting away, I can tell, hey, I need to slow down. Hey, you put it on a credit card, you don't realize how much money you spend until it's too late. So watch yourself. I ain't trying to tell you what to do. I'm trying to tell you the key to happiness. And the key to happiness is not to have a financial burden. I'm telling you. Everybody's got to have a place to stay. But let me tell you, it's best that you can rearrange your status to be buying your own stuff instead of renting. Renting goes out the door. Save your money till you can buy what you need on credit and with a home, and make the payments, double up on the payments if you can, and get it paid off early. That's the key. Don't go spending money you ain't got. That's the very reason. Hey, I'm so tired. I was born in an era when we didn't have nothing. And I guess that's why I'm fishing out this old boat. I've had bass boats. And I wore out bass boats. But I found out in my older years I ain't got to have all that running up the lake and fast moving and all the stuff that goes along with a bass boat, spending gas money. I found out now, hey, simple is better. Just like this little Crestliner boat, simple is better. I don't burn as much gas. I ain't running up the lake, and I'm catching probably more fish because I'm not running up the lake, burning gas. So, hey, it's something too simple. My daddy he never did own over a 14-foot john boat in his life. That just shows you the difference in time. Never owned over a 14-foot john boat, and probably one of the best fishermen that ever was around this area. Used a paddle. Hey, it was right there in the latter part of his life that he even bought a john boat. He made his own boat out of wood. Used a wagon wheel and cut it off to make the daggone nose of the boat. And they made their own boat. We fished out that little I think it might have been 12-foot wood boat with a seat in it, an old bench seat that you sit on and paddle. You get up on the nose and paddle. Me and him go around the banks and bushes and stuff. Back then the water was dingy, so you had color in the water, and you had to move it slow. So you took a fly rod with a jig and just drop it around the trash, up and down the banks. And boy, we caught crappies in February. It was something. By the time March got here, we done caught the big crappies. Big crappies always move in first, and then your little ones. And we had just a wonderful time fishing like that. And hey, we didn't have nothing fancy. I think we had a 2.5 horsepower Elgin motor that you push the knob down on top to engage it to crank it. Didn't have fancy stuff, and we still had a good time. Hey, and we wasn't in debt, and life was good. We didn't make much money, but we still had a good time. We didn't have a lot of luxuries I'd hate to do without now. But hey, just a different in time, and we were happy. We were happy with little. We didn't know about having so much, and so it didn't bother us. Nowadays, everybody, I got older. I had youngers. I wanted to have more than what my daddy had, and then our youngers is the same way. They want to have more, so everybody wants to do better. I can understand that. Hey, we catching a few fish and doing a lot of talking. Oh, lake miner, uh-oh. Oh, what I had there. Something grabbed the hole. I think Looney grabbed it. Something held down on it unless the fish is bigger than I thought. Oh, that's a good one. Huh? Look at that. Look at that, what a jumbo delight. That, my friend, is the one we've been looking for. What? Look at him. I'm gonna show you this. Looney, don't grab my spoon. I'm gonna show you this. Look at him. Look at that, what a jumbo magnum. That, my friend, is a jumbo magnum, and you have got to love it. The Old Fisherman is doing it again. He's catching a few on Lake Monticello, and you got to love it. On a Saturday, boats all around me, and we still doing a video. Hey, we using crappie nibbles. Crappie nibbles. Giving it a shot. Why not? Fish ain't been wanting half bites, so we trying something different. Put it to the bottom where the big boys lie. What we doing? Loving life on Lake Monticello with Looney and a bunch of people looking. Got two boats sitting within 100 yards of me, catching the show. We ain't catching a lot of fish. Hey, I think maybe we need to beat on the boat, don't y'all? Let's beat on the boat. See what we can make them bite. See if we can make them bite. All we doing, and we got slick, calm conditions. Weather's not cold. It's cool, but it's perfect fishing condition. Overcast, just a beautiful day to be alive. Enjoy what life we got left, taking nothing for granted. All we doing, we need a bite. Loney, we need a bite. You need a fish. Huh? Loney, you need a fish? Oh, Loney always needs a fish. Now that one's got a little knot on his head. That might be the one I've been coming up here with me for years. I try to distinguish. They kind of like people. They look a little different. But he's got that beautiful red eyes. I'm telling you, it's like a furnace fire in his eyes. You know, how many places can you get close enough to a wildlife, a wild loon, to see his eyes? And I'm close enough that I can see the bird's eyes. One time I had a fish in my hand. I want to see how close Looney would come. And old Looney come up and I slapped him on the beak with the daggone tail of the fish and then give it to him. That actually happened. Looney, we need a fish. What happened to my fish? Now all of a sudden this is slick come, and the fish not wanting to bite. We in 58 foot of water. I was on some fish, but they kind of stirred around and left. They're just not eating it up. And it's been like that for the last week. I predict full moon coming up. When that moon gets full, these fish ought to go to bite. What I predict. But you know how so often I get out here and I start thinking about my daddy and fishing. The way we used to fish, talking about his little boat. And what a difference in time. My goodness. If fishing was as hard as it is now back then, we'd never caught a fish. And I'm telling you right now, fishing has got tough. Although sometimes I can make it look easy, it's because I adapted to a completely different style of fishing. He never fished like this. Wouldn't even thought about fishing this deep. We used to go out and throw the anchor out and just see how deep it was. We had a old rod with some notches on a line, with marks on a line. We dropped down to see how deep it was. We didn't have fish find us. Had no clue where you was at. Just go out in the middle of the lake and drop it down to see how deep the water is. And if it was about the right depth you thought you ought to be in, you started fishing. And that's the way it was back then. Simple life. I grew up, the man next to us had a croquet yard. Mr. Boston had a croquet yard. And we used to have croquet tournaments. You don't even hear nobody playing croquet anymore. I bet a lot of people don't even know what croquet is. But buddy, let me tell you, we had a good time playing croquet when I grew up in the simple life of Chapin, South Carolina. Barbecuing. I've said it before, but I'll say it again. We used to barbecue hogs on the weekend, sell them. We had a filling station with a barbecue pit next to it. And we worked hard selling barbecue, and we'd sell out every day about lunch on Saturday. We barbecued butchered our own hogs. The good old days, but they were hard working days. Every time I ride by my old house place, we sold it, and a young fella bought it and fixed it up and remodeled it, but the outside still looks the same. And It brings back a lot of memories to ride down Peak Street in Chapin, South Carolina, where I was born. In the town of Chapin, the town limits. And all the older fellas I knew, they all dead. They all in the graveyard. And guess what? The old fisherman's next in line. He getting on up there. And the ones right above me are dying out. So, hey, it ain't long. Time goes fast. You get in your 60s, time goes fast. And then when you start getting hooked up with Medicare, they want you to go to the doctor. That's all you do is go to the doctor. So you let the doctors get you. And instead of fishing, all you're doing is going to doctor's appointments. So I hate to say it. I try to stay away from them if I can. Every time I get tied up with the doctors, they want me to do all the kind of things I don't want to do. So, hey, hard hit it. But you got to weigh your options. Once you get in that doctor routine, I don't know if that's good either. I think I'm going to let my doctor be this lake over here, Lake Monticello. Get on the lake and I feel better. And it seems like everything keeps working. With a few hurts and pains, but I think that's going to be. Hurts and pains is going to be. We need a fish. My goodness, what happened to the fish? They just quit. It's like they just left the lake. They pull this thing every day. They'll bite a little bit when you first get here, and as the day goes on, they quit. I don't know if they start back in the evening or what. But right now, there's nothing going on. I think you need to be here at daylight. And after the sun comes up a couple hours, it's over. We've got a good mess of fish. We sure ain't caught nothing on this video. Can't get nothing going. Can't get nothing going. And they were under me. Let me pull on out here. I pulled in a little bit. Let me pull out on the end again. Get out here in the real deep water. 70 plus. Tough making a video when they don't want to bite. I got completely off of them. When I first pulled up here this morning, I mean, they would bite good. And I'm thinking, well, I'm going to tear them up. And then they keep tapering down to nothing. What they've been doing all day. We still got a crapping nibble on it. I tell you though, the old crapping nibble seemed to work at first. They just ain't biting now, but they seem to work at first. I believe it works. Neon Chartreuse Crapping Nibble. Power bait. Hey, it's pleasant to be out here. Every so often, old Loney goes over there, pip, 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 pip. Here, he's talking to me. Pip, pip. Come on, Loney. Pip, come on. Come on, Loney. My trolling motor is funny. I got my trolling motor wide open going out deeper, and Loney's got a ripple behind him. He's going so fast trying to keep up with me. It's like I got him hooked to a rope and I'm pulling him. He's steady swimming to stay within striking distance of the old fisherman. He ain't gonna let me get away from him. Not Loney. That Loney is a character. He's my sidekick, like the Lone Ranger and Tonto. That's Tonto. That's the old fisherman's Tonto. Oh, Loney. Loney, you want to fish? Huh?